Anybody have that weird moment when you see Robert De Niro in a film, you forget he was young at one point? No? Just me?
I don't know. That's about the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Alright. What's up, YouTube? This is Red Devilosa from Red Devilosa Reviews. Taxi Driver. We're not talking about this taxi driver.
Okay. Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm not going to drop the link, but the ad is Billy's star. You can thank me by subbing to my channel. Taxi Driver was directed by the legend Martin Scorsese, written by Paul Schrader, and stars one of the greatest actors of all time, Robert De Niro, as Travis Bickle. This film was released on February 8, 1976, 45 years ago today. The film was nominated for 4 Oscars, which includes Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Original Score, and Best Supporting Actress. I will come back to who it is in a bit. Just like my review for A Clockwork Orange, this film was also selected for preservation in the National Film Registry in 1994. This was the second time out of 9 times where Robert De Niro would team up with Martin Scorsese in their careers. De Niro came in after his Oscar win as Best Actor for Vito Corleone in The Godfather Part 2. This is not a film about a guy who drives taxis throughout the film. It's about the taxi driver as a character.
You talking to me? You talking to me? Well, then who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me?
Travis is a depressed ex-Marine that suffers from chronic insomnia, so he gets a job as a cabbie so it allows him to cope with it. He gets infatuated by Betsy, played by Sybil Shepherd, but after a failed date of going to a porn theater, he concludes that she is just like everyone else. A lot of the film focuses on Travis being by himself, which allows us to go more into the mind of the character as he has feelings of loneliness, and he has scenes of introspection as he witnesses the grimy natures of New York, with the dysfunction of society, and the abundance of prostitution. We'll come back to that in a bit. This is one of those films that is like a coming-of-age story, but it's not the way that you think. Travis is an unfocused individual that tries to grasp at reality in different ways. He experiences the dark natures of humanity as each of his passengers in the taxi comes from many different backgrounds, but they have a similar attachment to something or someone as they go about their lives. This mix of isolationism, the horrors of the city, the experiences of his passengers starts to warp this perception that he starts to have more violent outlooks to society, that he should try to seek justice as a rogue hero. However, he does take the time to realize that his negative, violent thoughts might be taking over as he has a brilliant scene with Wizard, played by Peter Boyle.
Just want to go out and like really do something. I just want to go out. I really want to. I got some bad ideas in my head.
Before I get to the aftermath of Travis, I want to talk about Robert De Niro. He's just one of those chameleon actors that can blend into a movie and you just see the character and not De Niro. In order for him to prepare for this role, he obtained a taxi driver's license in New York, and he would go through the city in a taxi and drive people around.
A young actor got in the car one night and he saw that it was you driving the car. He said, "You just won an Oscar." He said, "My God, is it that hard to get work?" Do you remember?
He also lost 35 pounds for the role and listened to taped diaries of Arthur Bremer, a criminal that was arrested for attempted murder for a presidential candidate. He'd also go to northern Italy and tape soldiers so that he could use the voice for the character. I usually like to know how much an actor does to get into character. There's some crazy stories about Daniel Day-Lewis, but that's for a different video. Back to Travis. One thing that Betsy tells him is that he is a walking contradiction, which pretty much serves as the point of the film. We tend to look at life in a particular way as we move along in our lives. However, there are times where we do stumble or we backtrack when things don't go our way or the way that we want. The way that Travis views Betsy is like this angelic figure, this beautiful construct that will understand him, and she would support everything he does. As I mentioned, the failed date to the porn theater, it contributes to the insecurities and it attributes to his psychological turmoil. Even though he blames her for not understanding him, I believe he's angry at himself for not being able to understand himself. I believe that when he approaches Iris, his perspective starts to change. One of the biggest controversies that the film faced was due to the nominee of the Best Supporting Actress. Those of you that have seen the film, you know it's Jodie Foster. Oh, I know Jodie Foster. She was that amazing actress from The Silence of the Lambs. What could possibly be wrong with her? She played a 12-year-old prostitute. Very clear and understandable for the controversy. Jodie had some film experience prior to Taxi Driver, so she didn't really see a big deal, as she understood that she was playing a character. Now, she didn't do anything wrong, other than unzipping Travis's pants and having a creepy dance with Harvey Keitel's character Sport.
Why don't you take a seat?
Oh, I don't want to take a seat.
Have a seat.
No, I'm just gonna go.
Take a seat right over there.
How does he do that?
Controversies aside, her acting was really good at 14 as she was going back and forth with Oscar winner Robert De Niro. It's no surprise she would become a two-time Oscar winner herself. Travis is more nurturing towards Iris as he believes it's wrong for her to be giving up her body for a pimp who doesn't care about her other than her ability to get money. This comes back to how he wants to preserve her innocence. She should be at home, going to school, avoiding the dark and cynical world and not being lost in it like he was. This goes back to what he wants, as he had his training montage with the guns and the "you talking to me" scene. He wants to be a hero to someone. He acts on it by cutting his hair into a mohawk and attempts to kill President Palantine before he was spotted by the Secret Service. The film never gave a clear reason why he wanted to do this. The way I saw it, it was meant to be a way to reject a system he saw as hypocritical, self-serving, uncaring. He also saw it as a way to be recognized as an individual that has been rejected and ignored by society at the same time. He seeks his vengeance on Sport and his crew in the brothel, taking bullets as well. Once he kills the last guy, he attempts to shoot himself, but all the guns ran out of bullets. As the police comes in, he motions a shot to his head before blacking out. He gets hospitalized, and the press is recognizing him as a heroic vigilante, and it prevented him from not being prosecuted for murders. Iris's parents give him a letter of thanks for saving their daughter. He drives Betsy home without a fare, and there's a moment where he views the rearview mirror and gets agitated. Scorsese believed that Travis was staring into his own eyes through the mirror. They gave this look of insanity, as if to say that Travis was afraid that this persona might take over like a ticking bomb. This film is an all-time classic. Great acting, great direction and writing, great soundtrack. This was one of the last films scored by Bernard Herrmann. He was able to capture the style of New York very well that included a mix of jazz, which made the city feel like a character of its own. What's sad is that Herrmann actually passed away a few hours after the completion of the music. He was known for other film scores such as Citizen Kane, Psycho, Cape Fear, and others. The design of the city was very good as it blended the dark aesthetic of the city and washed them with the colors of neon lights and signs. Scorsese had Dan Perry design the film, who had experience from The Exorcist, and he would later work on Star Wars before it was called A New Hope, and Raging Bull in 1980. Some cool facts about the film: everybody took a pay cut for this film. Some critics thought the film should have been rated X, and in order for Scorsese to avoid that, he made the blood look more brown than red. Scorsese was actually in the film himself. He was the guy that was telling Travis the graphic ways he was going to kill his wife as she was cheating on him. The role was meant to be played by George Mamoli from Mean Streets, but he hurt his back while working on a different film. A lot of the dirtiness in the film was real, as it was during the time of a garbage strike in the 1970s. There's the whole John Hinckley Jr. thing that I don't want to get into. If you're curious, Google it. I was listening to Jodie Foster's interviews about the situation, and it actually pissed me off with the insanity of what these reporters were asking her. And I really got to commend her for her maturity at such a young age, which makes sense since she was acting on film since the ages of 9 or 10, so she was probably used to the bullshit. There's a lot of parallels with Joker 2019, which was intentional for Joker, but that's a video for another day. Let me know on what you thought about Taxi Driver. Also, what is your favorite Martin Scorsese film? Mine would have to be Goodfellas. If you would like to see another anniversary review, I have a playlist in the description that includes Toy Story and A Clockwork Orange. If you like reviews and opinions on movies, comics, TV shows, and video games, you can support my channel by liking the video and subscribe for more of that content. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Peace.